love me. Thank you so much. Awesome. Bonjour. My ancestral name is Mungbanonji, and it was gifted to me in ceremony on Mount McKay in Thunder Bay, Ontario. My matriarchal line comes from Mishkigogamon. My patriarchal line comes from Lac Seul in Wabigoon, Ontario. I am an uninvited guest here on Syilx Nation territory, and I feel like I'm a little taller. One thing that I do not take lightly is my responsibility to create respectful and meaningful relationships with the Syilx Nation and all of the living and non-living beings that are here. So, miigwech them. I'm an artist, a poet, a writer, and a face painter. I am taking risks in following my dreams. So thank you for this opportunity and this platform to share my short story. I wrote this story at a creative writing class at UBCO. I'm a mature student there, currently studying Indigenous Studies. It is a story about a young Anishinaabe Kwe, a character that I admire and aspire to be like. I love her bravery and her courage to live life with intention, integrity, and esteem. I will briefly share some words that may be unfamiliar and then start the story. In Anishinaabe Moan, Nebe is water. It's here used as a proper noun. Makwa is bear. Anishinaabe and Anishinaabe Kwe is both Ojibwe people and Ojibwe woman. Miigwech is thank you. Gichi Manitou is great spirit or creator. Gokam is grandmother. Manomin is wild rice. Donis is daughter. Nadada, father. And Gichi Gagne, Wininawag, Lake Superior. And if you're a fan of that folk singer, I forget his name, he sings about that lake. Here we go. From her cozy north face cocoon, she rolled her body over the mat and carefully placed her shoulder under her cheek. She rested in a fetal position and let out a petite yawn. Nebe couldn't see her hand in front of her, but by this fourth morning, she memorized every inch of the two-person tent. The autumn frost was creeping on the canvas like a fungus in perfect yet cool humidity. The frosty tent walls created sporadic flower-like trails reaching for the northern lights. Good old northwestern Ontario, freezing in October. As Nibby reached for the light, the chill hit her arm like ice to tongue. Nibby dressed in the first layers of her hunting gear. She exited the tent to place her rifle back on the tailgate and made breakfast. She sleeps with her Winchester 30-06 rifle, just in case. Safety on, scope off. The life story of the rifle belongs to her Nadada. It is her gifted tool now. It is memory, it is courage. On the first night of the fall hunt, a curious Makwa sniffed the perimeter of the tent. Armed with the rifle, she lay paralyzed with fear, eyes closed to focus on its location. The Makwa's heavy, quiet steps felt like silent earthquakes, pushing down the soil, crunching the fallen leaves. Shockwaves of lifted weight raised the soil, parallel to the hairs from every goosebump. The Makwa scoffed as its snout pushed in the tent walls. Bear spray won't cut it, she thought in desperation. If Makwa ripped open the canvas, Nebe imagined her bones crushed. Nebe held her breath. She gripped her rifle ever so slightly and removed the safety. Click. Her eyes opened in the infinite darkness, ears flushed hot, her breast pounded drum beats. She exhaled the cool, misty memories of her life. The Makwa inched further toward the truck and eventually the deep thickets. With no food source available, Makwa carried on his own hunt. Oh, wow. Nibby's pursed lips sighed gratitude. The ancestral drumbeats settled in her chest, Her ears and face cooled. Must have been male Makwa. Mama would have killed me, she thinks in utter relief. Nibi's focus is on the moose, not the bear. It is a right given to every member of her Anishinaabe community. She cannot fail this time. They depend on her. Nibi has everything to prove by mastering her hunt. The elders are depending on her. She is one of the only young Anishinaabe Kwe that knows the hunt, how to cut meat, how to tan hides. She grew up on the trap line, learning to quarter moose, hunt big and small game, fish for walleye, and trap rabbits and wolves. Blueberry Hill is 15 clicks from the res. Mungbenonji First Nation, a remote reserve accessible by the last stretch of Northern Highway, is home to 150 band members. Blueberry Hill is sacred for its legendary crops of berries. It is a 13,000 square foot boreal forest shaped by the granite drop-offs of the last ice age. Nibish shares her birth year with the massive wildfire of 1980. Birch, pine, cedars are all around, the same age as Nibi. They're long-lost besties. Your intentions are always given back to you. The trees crackled and Nibi began her ceremony. Miigwech Gitchi Manitou, sage smoke is washed over her head like water. I am alive today. I awoke with all my senses. I am grateful for your guidance. The gray smoke plumed from the shell, then danced around her eyes and her ears and her mouth. Guide my spirit to moose spirit, and let their sacrifice sustain our bodies for energy and nutrition. I will not waste any of its gifts. The freshwater shell, gifted from Gichigamiwaninuwag, is like woman's womb, carrying purification medicine. Nibib burns medicine, sending prayers of gratitude to Gitchi Manitou. Remember the teachings. Remember the teachings. The clouds graced Nibi as her eyes overcast with grief, but Smudge took heartache for a journey to the sky. He is gone. He's here with me. He is not gone. She chokes through the lump in her throat, but first, tea. Nibi's ceremony is feasted with red rose, just like Nadada loved. Breakfast is kokum's bannock and blueberry jam, homemade from July's harvest. Nibid dons her camouflage gear from Crappy Tire, the neon toque and vest. Each night she places her gear within a garbage bag of Labrador tea and pine tree branches. She blends in like the boreal princess she is. She checks the GPS batteries and the weather network. She hasn't roughed it since portable satellite came out to the reserve. Now her family can view her location. Nadada would be annoyed at the portable tech. He was tradish, old school. He never used a map or compass. He used the method of ancestral memory ingrained in the veins. He knew how to get back to camp every time, like following Ojibwe bloodlines sketched into the Canadian shield. Nibis sips the last of her steaming tea and whispers, I miss you, Nadada. On her 4x4 ATV, the antler, fuel, rifle, ammunition, emergency kit, knife, tarps, rope, lunch, and perhaps dinner are all loaded on the back. The ever-empty trailer is in tow. Nadada built the trailer by hand, now devoid of her failed hunt the last 3 days. She follows the windy, overgrown, and abandoned forestry road down around 12 clicks where she marked yesterday's moose droppings. She found the marker tape on the young pine and parks the ATV in the ditch. Grabbing her day pack, water, and rifle, the 4-click trek begins through a familiar trail north of the road. Blanketed with the hues of sunrise, light peeks through the nude birch trees as rays embrace the decaying fauna of the forest floor. As she approaches the tree stand, it is a gut-wrenching reminder of how she failed last season. Her lack of focus on wind direction and the depth and tone of her moose call were all hindered by grief. Sloppy mistakes marked the stains of her tracking abilities. It was too soon after Nadada's accident. She had sat downwind, the moose took note of her scent and buggered off like an uncle that owes her $20. Nebe, the seasoned hunter, became the hunted. This year, Nebe brought back the teachings. She went to the medicines and prayed with the elders. They said, honor your spirit, acknowledge the ancestors. The animal spirit will be ready to meet you. The hunt is not merely a physical journey. It is an all-encompassing of spirit, mind, and emotion. They will look you in the eye when they are ready. You will know, the elder said. The wind is in perfect position to use the tree stand this time. Walk and call didn't work last year, but tracks show a bull moose in the area. Falling leaves embrace gravity with no push or pull, just twisty, twirly drops. Rutting, her favorite stems, are more than feelings when the male is looking for the female. Should I challenge him for a fight? She says to the antler. Or welcome his macho bullhead with a love call. Suddenly, a broad orange leaf twirled and landed its veiny breadth on the antler. She grasped the base of the antler and blew off the leaf. Thanks, Nadetta. The smacking of the antler created the rutting sounds, a challenge to compete for the mate. She smacks it again and again, pulsing in silence intermittently. Moose can stay in the thickets for days, but today, competition has arrived and is ready to fight. We will look you in the eye. We will stand tall and proud. We will gift ourselves for you if your intentions are true. Like you, me, and every living thing. We are a part of that sacred circle we call life. We are all connected. The moose rumbles and snorts as Nebe fumbles to find her scope in the large pocket of her vest. Will he really look me in the eye? Nibby's thoughts raced. Right. He'll look me in the eye. I'll be ready. She shivered her thoughts as the tobacco was pinched. Tobacco was the first medicine given to the Anishinaabe people, the yellow grass whispers. Nibbe lets the tobacco fall from her fingers to the soil as she silently prays. A rustle occurs a few hundred yards to the right. The bush is so thick, she bangs the antler again. It's him. Bring him closer, Donis, her heart screams. After another hit of the antler, Nebe carefully puts it to the side. Through the scope, she can see the moose heading her way. She remains still and quiet. This bull is the largest she has ever seen. She kneels in shock, unsure of her next move, only moving her nostrils to breathe. The moose walks strategically with long, lanky legs and marches through the thickets and buckbrushes. His head and antlers sway back and forth, searching for the competition. Nebe's heartbeat throbs her neck vessels. Her breathing becomes slow and shaky. Sweat begins to gather on her upper lip, her brow, and her nose. She clicks the safety off, shaking like monomen husks in the wind. Sudden warmth comes over her as the clouds open and lights glisten on the vapor-kissed fauna. She places her right eye into the scope. They fit together like moccasin tops to soles. She adjusts her view. Left, right, left. She finds the money shot. Here you go, my girl. It's your turn. The sunlight whispers upon her cheek. Hands calm, breath steady and silent. The scope target is in place as she places her finger on the trigger. Nebe moves her focus on her bullseye. Nebe's chestnut iris, wispy-lashed almond eye, drops a single tear as she meets the black iris of her bull. The end.